All right, let's talk about unknowns analysis. And we're going to give a demo here, so let's go right to the demo. I'm starting up unknowns analysis from the desktop here. And what I'm going to do is to tell it which batch I want to analyze. And I've got one here, which is the samples from BOA. And I've already picked the NIST library. I'm going to leave the settings at the default, and I'm also going to generate a report here using the report template called unknowns analysis. So here we go. And let me, while it's working, I will discuss how unknowns analysis is presented. So in the background section, we've talked about deconvolution, which is what it's going through now with each of the samples in BOA. It's deconvoluting and pulling out those signals. This is extremely fast if you see how quickly the algorithm is working through the chromatograms. And then next, after it's finished with the deconvolution, it's going to do a library search against the NIST, which has well over 200,000 compounds. And again, you'll see how quick it is in doing that operation. It's going to produce a single sample report that gives a list of unknown compounds that it's found by this technique of deconvolution and unknowns analysis, and then it will kick off those reports. And we'll show in a moment basically two different ways of looking at the data. One is to look at the Excel report which is produced. So here is the reports that are going to be fired up here. And then the other way is to go back into batch at a glance and to look at each sample individually, because there's a batch of one single sample. So while the reports are being generated, why don't we fire up Quant, and then we will open up one of these samples. Let's just pick sample 4, for example, here. So here we are with sample 4. And what I'm going to suggest is you go over to the method editor and then look at advanced tasks and go to compound library setup. So here you are looking at the list of compounds that were generated through the deconvolution and library search. And from this perspective, you can sort on the library match score, or look at the retention, sort on the retention time, and then examine what compound you're looking at, either through the sample information window or looking at the extracted chromatogram. All right, let's take a look at drilling down. Now, I suggest you do this in Qual because it has more discovery features, but you can also do some of this in Quant. So I'm going to look into benzene 1-bromo-3-fluoro. So here it is in the sample information window, and you can see that's the peak that's come out. I'm just going to take an area and then perceive compounds, which is going to run deconvolution, and it'll show me some spectra that it's taken from that. Now, let's say that I am interested in this spectra here. I can search the library, the NIST library, and it will come up with a list. And here is the compound information, which is benzene 1-bromo-3-fluoro, which has the best match factor. But there's also several other choices, and you can see those listed here with the comparison of the spectra and then the library spectra with the molecule drawn. And that gives you a chance to check to make sure that there isn't another compound that could be the same hit with a slightly different name, and that's often the case, especially as you're searching a very large library like the NIST library. All right, so let's take a look at the reporting. So the reports have all finished, and in less than 2 minutes I might observe. And let's take a look at one of those. I'll go down to the blank report and I'll start up that Excel document. And I'm looking at Excel. This is useful if it's sufficient for you just to look at the list of compounds. So in this case, I'm going to create this as a table so that I can sort on, let's say, library match score, largest to smallest. And I have all the features of Excel here where I can do number filters and so forth and so on. So I have all of the metrics here: library match score, purity, signal to noise, expected concentration, so forth and so on, all in the table for me to peruse through. Again, if all you need to do is to look at the list to make sure that there's nothing untoward in that list that you need to drill down with. All right, thanks for your attention.